welcome to Travelogue. I'm Mark Edwards, and over the next 2 episodes, we're going to take you on an adventure around Wuyuan County in Jiangxi Province. I'm here in Tsinghua, at the site of the oldest covered bridge in China. I've been told that if you walk from one end to another, it'll bring you luck and prosperity. Let's go give it a go.
Our journey starts at this symbol of Wuyuan, the magnificent rural county situated in Jiangxi Province in southeastern China. Though not as well known as its more renowned neighbour, Jingdezhen, it offers you, as a tourist, a whole host of activities and sights. The nearest airport to Wuyuan is Jingdezhen, so you can spend a bit of time checking out China's porcelain capital after you land. And then it's a swift hour-long bus ride to our destination. So much of Wuyuan is about nature, and with it comes those who have spent their lives in this environment. One such person is this local man, who sources all of his food from Wuyuan's natural habitats. He hunts for game and he makes his own honey. It's the ideal, rugged antidote to 21st century metrosexuality for all you ladies out there.
So we're up here taking a quick rest, and for all you sweet tooths out there, you might spot that little wooden casket behind, which is in fact to attract wild bees to come here and make honey, or create their honeycomb here. And the gentleman who set these up will come here and check that there's no ants or wires around, and then extract the honey. There you go. But I'm going to jump down here and take a quick breather on the highest mountain. Well, we're on our way up to the highest mountain in Wuyuan County, which stands at 1,600 meters, and it's called Dajiang Shan, which means mountain. I'm actually going to take a couple of minutes on this long trip for a bit of sun. Take a bit of sun. Whew.
The countryside around Wuyuan is home to some of China's most immaculate views. My personal recommendation would be that you would come here to witness the splendid countryside and also try out your own little village hop. You can buy ticket sets at Wuyuan capital town that give you access to several renowned villages, which are open to tourists. Go on your own or hire a tour guide, as I did, who can lead you around to the more unknown places.
So we're here at Dajiangshan, which is the highest village in the whole of Wuyuan County. But it's not only the highest village, but it's also a village that has very, very few tourists. And we're lucky because our tour guide is in fact from this village, and she's agreed to come and show us around. So Xiaolin, it's our tour guide.
With tourists being few and far between, it does manage to give you an insight into Chinese rural life, still untouched by modernity.
One of the things I love the most about China is that whenever you're welcomed into somebody's house, they can give you, that you can always expect a nice hot cup of tea, like I've been given by Xiaolin. So thank you very much.
In Dajiangshan, you'll feel like you've actually gone back in time. So it's somewhat of a surprise to find a small enterprise has been set up here. This might explain my rather overblown enthusiasm.
Hi. Now, you're probably wondering what this is, as I was about 10 minutes ago. I was explained that, in fact, this is used to boil bamboo. Now, why do you actually want to boil bamboo? I didn't know, and I had to ask, and in fact, it's to turn bamboo, which is, you recognise this, to change its colour to white. Why turn it white? Now, I know I've got your attention, and you're wondering, you're kind of intrigued. Why would I want to show you this? Well, in fact, we're in a bamboo factory, but not a normal bamboo factory. And I'm going to get you even more intrigued if you follow me. Now check that out. It's carving characters into, and here's the big one, a unique special edition wine holder.
Well, apologies for my overexcitement, but it was hard to imagine a computerized engraving machine all the way up here. Every place in the world has its own tourist speciality, and Wuyuan is famous for its fish. It's time to see why.
Welcome to the Fish Kingdom, or more precisely, the fish ponds where all the locals get to keep their fish individually. Now, they've told me that they think their fish tastes a lot better here, and they've said it's because of the high altitude and the fact that the weather means that the water here is a lot colder. And apparently, fish that live in colder water tend to grow more slowly, which means that their meat tastes a lot better. Let me try the water to see if this is true. Not the taste, but for the water. Ah, boiling. Kidding. It's absolutely freezing. My fingers are about to fall off. Whew.
I head on back down the mountain road, praying that no big vehicle is going to be coming up the other way. Despite the roads being flat, they're also extremely narrow. Right, I'm going to be honest, I have ulterior motives for being in Wuyuan at this time. You may or may not be surprised to know that the motive is flowers.
Well, you can either say I'm lucky or unlucky. It's been about an hour since we left Wuyuan, and it's been raining on and off for all of that time. However, I am lucky because it's given the entire valley a mystical feel about it. If you actually look at the beautiful reservoir behind me. Effervescent.
There's a flower that commands as much respect and interest as the fantastic traditional villages in Wuyuan. It's the rapeseed flower, often known as the canola flower. It is put to many different uses today, including the production of animal feed, vegetable oil for human consumption, and even biodiesel. In Wuyuan, the popularity of the rapeseed has a lot to do with its extremely short lifespan. Come at the right time of the year though, which is around end of March, beginning of April if you're wondering, and the entire county is covered in these beautiful yellow flowers for about 2 weeks. Though each season does have its own appeal. That said, it's almost worth the trip alone just to see the flowers carpeting the county in such a majestic way. As luck would have it, our week here just about coincides with the flowers in their final bloom before they wither away. We managed to get a quick glance before they get harvested to become something more useful than just looking pretty. Right, well I'm reliably informed that you can literally walk into almost any house in the villages around Wuyuan just to see what they look like inside.
Whoa. It's the kind of stairs you don't really want to be taking if you've had slightly too many glasses of wuzhou or any alcohol for that matter. Really not that easy. Well, we've been very kindly allowed to come and see one of the houses in Qingyuan village, and as you can see, if you take a look around, this isn't your average living room. We've got a water collecting bowl here, and it's actually raining, so you can see it at work as we speak. And how many people can actually say that they've got meat hanging in the middle of their living room? Gives it a really sort of antique-y feel to it, I suppose, in a way. And here's the man who made it all possible, Mr. Zhang Lao.
The sleepy village of Qingyuan is located about an hour northeast from the main town of Wuyuan. It's also the birthplace of China's most famous railway engineer, Jiang Tianyou. Huizhou architecture is the most distinctive ingredient of the regional personality, representative of the merchant class that was so prominent in this region of southern Anhui and northeastern Jiangxi during the Ming and Qing dynasties. Sleepy Village suits me just fine, as I'm looking to spend some time lazily strolling around. It's a perfect place to wander about, knowing you won't be disturbed. You can appreciate little things, such as the animals running around, or the fact that there seems to be no people here whatsoever. Qingyuan is much more peaceful than some of the other big villages in the county, so it's no surprise to be informed that the famous Hong Kong actor Chow Yun-fat was staying here the week before we were. I wonder if we were a week late, or he was a week early. Anyway, that's the beauty of travelling to relatively less known places. You never really know what surprises are in store.
So I've been walking around Qingyuan for quite a while now, and the most refreshing thing about this place actually is that there really feels like there are hardly any people here. There are actually more animals such as dogs and cows even, and chickens walking around. But if you want to spend a bit more time here, which I probably might do later on, you can stay in one of the lovely hostels behind me that only costs 30 kwai a night. What a bargain.
I finally catch a break with the weather. The air is fresh and the sun is out. Ironically, we found our first day of sun to be a perfect time to go and visit the town of Jialu, which is famous for its umbrellas. Located in the grounds of a beautifully restored former school, this umbrella factory is a delight to tour around. I'm not joking. I can't say that seeing how handmade umbrellas are produced was on my list of things to do before I die, but it's definitely an eye-opener. The craftsmanship and detail that goes into making just one of the umbrellas is astounding and thoroughly worth a quick peek. This is the backstage view of umbrella making, as I like to think of it. The umbrellas made here vary in price, from 50 to 200 RMB. You'll notice that the men are in charge of the structures, and the women of the daintier things, such as sewing. The system works seamlessly. Here's another use for the bamboo besides the wine holder, as all the umbrellas are made from it. I found this to be a good spot to pick up an authentic Wuyuan souvenir. But I'm going to be a bit subjective and admit that this part was the most entertaining of the day. The Picasso of Wuyuan County, as I like to think of him, is impressive to say the least. I'm rubbish at painting, so maybe I'm an easier target to fall under his spell, but the pace and dexterity with which he paints is truly remarkable. Umbrellas like the one he is painting on will cost around 100 RMB. The paper is covered in waterproof oil after the painting, and you can even order your own pattern at the factory. These umbrellas are available throughout Wuyuan, but I recommend coming down to Jialu for the experience, as well as a chance to pick up an umbrella at a discount.
That took just under 7 minutes, and look how intricate it is. But I think that's about enough of me for the moment. Bye.
Jialu is on the west side of Wuyuan County and takes just over an hour from the main town of Wuyuan. But as you've probably guessed, this entire area is governed by umbrellas. In every nook and cranny, there is something going on that is associated with making these.
Well, I'm here in the attic of the umbrella factory manager's family home. And you'll never guess what they do here. That's right, they're making umbrellas, of course. Meet Mr. Dai's family. Hard at work, efficient, professional, and you'll see extremely fast.
The more famous umbrellas are made of paper, but these ones are silk and therefore printed. It does mean they are cheaper though. I think these would be good for using when it's raining, whereas the painted ones would probably be more for decorative purposes. You know when you spend too much time around umbrellas is when you're hoping for rain. I better get out of here. Next stop, Wangkou. Another fine example of a laid-back rural lifestyle. The tempo is slow, and some of the methods are slightly archaic, but that's part and parcel of the charm you'll intrinsically find within Wuyuan County. Yushe Zhongse is a place steeped in history, where intricate wood carvings are housed besides what I'm told are the Yu's family mottos and historical annotations which are reminders of the family's history. The annotations serve the dual purpose of encouraging future generations and revering past accomplishments. I don't understand any of them, but I can appreciate the beauty, especially the wooden carvings, which are constructed in several layers, making them seem almost alive.
We're here in Wanko village, and for the last 30 minutes, a tour guide has tried to explain the function of this building I'm in. I have no idea what the English term is for this, and I've actually tried to come up with my own, which is Village Prayer Worship Hall. Meeting hall. Village Prayer Worship Meeting Hall. Don't know if that makes any sense to you guys. Sorry guys. Village Prayer Worship Meeting Hall. Doesn't exactly roll off the tongue, does it? This place was built by and for the Wanko village people who were all part of the same extended family. And they would come here to pray to and to worship their ancestors, such as these two people behind, their great-grandparents, their great-grandparents, grandparents, parents, and so forth. This building is almost 300 years old, and I've been told that it has never ever been refurbished. But on top of that, the strange thing is it's never ever, they don't pay anybody to come here and clean the ceilings. Yet, you look up, you won't find any bird's nests, any bees' nests, or any sort of local fauna. Very strange.
Right, in hindsight, I could have simply said Ancestral Hall, though I'm still not sure of all of its functions. There's so much natural and traditional beauty surrounding Wuyuan, it's no surprise that a lot of the villagers are a magnet for photographers and painters. We arrived in the small village of Xiaoqi, which is actually busier than anything we've encountered previously. This is due to the intriguing juxtaposition of man-made structures and nature, where the Chinese respect for feng shui is evident.
Now, the Chinese believe that water signifies money, hence why they build these water gates behind to keep the water for as long as possible around a village. Now, the water will come from the mountains all the way down through the village and come to a rest here behind me, perfectly still, as you can see, therefore signifying that the money stays in and around the village for as long as it can. Now, I don't have any artistic skills, or certainly I can't paint, but if I could, I think I'd just spend my afternoons here relaxing, listening to the soothing sounds of the water behind, and just painting.
Don't be too worried about the seemingly endless number of dogs that mess around in Wuyuan. Despite the initial impression, these are not strays, but rather the village dogs. They play together and are well known in the local communities. It's great if you're a dog lover like me. The typical Huizhou architecture is everywhere to be seen. Strikingly capped with dark tiles, the white walls of Huizhou houses are regularly punctuated by windows. And these are set quite high as a way of deterring burglars. Anyway, that's the end of today's architecture class. We've got something even more important to show you. Well, certainly in my eyes. Right, here we go. We're backstage again as we take a look at a Wuyuan County kitchen.
Dinner's coming in just a second, but I think we've got about enough time to go and check out the room that I'm going to be staying in tonight, so let's go and check it out.
You're gonna have to trust me on this one, but the smells coming from this eatery are simply divine. Expect to find that everything you eat during your stay in Wuyuan County will be locally produced organic food.
So, let's check out the rooms in this hotel. What do we got here? Okay, one room here, I've been told, costs 60 kwai per night. So, 2 people come and stay here, that's only 30 kwai a person. Complete bargain. If we come in here, now look at this, 3 beds. The owner of the hotel has told me it's irregardless of the number of beds, it's still the same price. So if you come here in 3s, that'll cost you 20 kwai per person. That is cheap. Now, this is my room for the night. And let's check out the amenities. I haven't actually been in here properly. What do we got here? Yeah, shower, toilet, water. You can shower and go to the loo at the same time. And I'm actually going to go to the loo now, so bye-bye. Well, decided to change rooms, mainly because CCTV 9 isn't actually working in that room, and also because of that.
Fresh ingredients always give dishes a better flavour. And this restaurant is without a doubt far better than some of the big restaurants we tried in the main town of Wuyuan. I reckon it's the family chefs, not the hired ones, who give you this home-cooked feel for the food. And since it's home-cooked food, you don't really need to try too hard to order. Let them delight you with their own specialties.
This is what it's all about. On top of a roof here in Xiaoqi village, a village that dates back to 787. I've just spent the night here in one of the lovely hotels, and all I can say to you is, come and check this place out for yourself.
Well, having done my fair share of quiet and quaint villages, I feel it's time to mix it up with the crowds in a more popular tourist destination. When you come to Wuyuan, make sure not to miss Xiaolikeng. It's a complete tourist village with everything geared towards serving its visitors. Yes, it is packed at weekends, but there's a reason for that. You'll be pleasantly surprised by this delightfully picturesque village. It enjoys a fantastic riverside setting and is threaded by tight alleys and held together by quaint bridges.
So we're here in the village of Xiaolikeng, Small Likeng, which is literally overrun by tourists at the moment. That's no surprise when you look at places such as these that really reflect the Hui architecture of the time. Now, something that's rather interesting is the fact that a place like this would have its main entrance hall looking out onto the side of a little street, and that reflected its social status. Whereas if you look behind me, at the number 2 over there, looks out onto the main street, and that is of a government official.
The famous houses in Xiaolikeng are now open for tourists. The village feels as much like a museum as it is a shopping haven for gifts. Above all, if you're looking for a beautiful photo filled with lots of people you don't know, stick to the bottom of Xiaolikeng. That said, if you'd rather a spot for a good photo to show off to your friends, this can be found at the top of the hill in Likeng. Just so you don't get confused, there is also a Da Likeng, a big Likeng, which is also worth visiting. We're here at the top of the Xiao Likeng, and you can snap away to your heart's delight whilst enjoying a view over the whole village.
Well, I got what I was looking for, 12 renminbi. But don't tell the person I'm going to give this to. But I'm afraid that's all we've got time for here today. I hope you've enjoyed discovering the beauty that is Wuyuan County. I'm Mark Edwards, and I'll see you soon on another episode of Travelogue.
Don't miss the next episode of Travelogue. There's still plenty to see in Wu Yuan. I'll be continuing my village hopping, trying out the famous local tea, and even visiting a village where the tour guides are all aged between 5 and 14.
All the kids love me, yay!